guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you are quad dominant and you have a hard time firing up your glutes or finding workouts that engage your glutes properly, I am going to show you everything that I've learned throughout the years as someone who is also quad dominant and how I've been able to gain tremendous progress within my glutes and growing my glutes, and how I've been able to overcome quad dominance, if you will. So whether people are quad dominant or glute dominant, it really just comes down to genetics and the anatomy of our bodies. So there's not anything we can do about the way we are built. However, if you were built quad dominant, there's definitely things that you can do to basically overcome this and still get amazing results and still grow your glutes, even if it's not in your genes or your genetics. If you're not sure if you're quad dominant or glute dominant, the way to really figure this out is when you're doing leg workouts, specifically compound movements like squats, lunges, anything like that. If you feel it mostly in your quads and not your glutes, then there's a good chance you are quad dominant. And again, I am personally quad dominant, so anytime I do any of those type of exercises, especially years ago when I was just starting in weight training, I could not figure out how to engage my glutes. I would watch videos and watch workouts on glute workouts, but when I would go to the gym and perform that workout, I would have sore quads and I would barely feel anything where I was supposed to feel the movements. Another reason we could have become quad dominant, even if that wasn't really the way we were built or our anatomy, is from sitting all day. If you sit all day, your glutes essentially become deactivated and they are not working, and the nerves have stopped triggering your glutes to turn on whenever it is that you want to turn them on. So for example, if you're going to do a workout where you're trying to engage your glutes, it's going to be difficult if you were sitting at an office or a desk or whatever it is all day long. Not only is this frustrating for your workouts, but having inactive glutes or weak glutes can definitely lead to back pain, specifically lower back pain, hip pain, even ankle and knee pain. It sounds crazy, but I actually discussed this a little bit in my video where I talked about what the gym did for my scoliosis and how that actually helps with my back pain, and having strong glutes can definitely help that, regardless of if you have scoliosis or not. But if you deal with any type of back pain, strengthening your glutes can definitely help. But even if you don't have back pain, it's going to prevent back pain in the future, and having strong glutes is just really, really important and very helpful, regardless of the aesthetic appeal to it. It's just a great thing to have strong glutes. So all over Instagram, you see crazy glute exercises, side angled kickbacks and angled push-ups, getting under the, just doing crazy stuff. I don't even know how to explain some of these exercises that I see. And it's not that some of them don't work or don't properly engage the glutes, but you don't have to do all of these crazy exercises that you see on the internet to engage your glutes. If you do the things that I talk about in this video, it's going to help you be able to engage your glutes doing the regular compound movements like squats, lunges, deadlifts, hip thrusts, etc. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my personal favorite exercises for engaging the glutes. If you apply the tips in this video, you may find that doing things like squats and lunges tremendously help you, and you will find that your glutes will fire up for those exercises. However, in this video, I'm not going to go over squats just because for me, even though I have learned to engage my glutes more during squats, it's still not one of my personal favorite exercises for building the glutes. That's definitely going to differ from person to person, but for me, that is just not one of my go-to exercises. So again, in this video, I'm going to share what my go-to exercises are, where I feel them 90 to 100% in my glutes and hamstrings only, and I do not feel them in my quads. So hopefully this will be helpful for you guys as well. The other thing that I want to touch on that I will share in this video is glute activation. So this is something that changed my training like night and day, and it wasn't even the exercises that I was changing, but it was the activation and what I was doing before the workouts that was helping me gain progress and be sore where I wanted to be sore. So glute activation is absolutely key to firing up those glutes before starting the workout and letting them know that they're going to be working and they're the muscle that you want to be engaging during your workout that you're about to do. And the last thing I quickly want to touch on before jumping into the gym video is that mind-muscle connection is also key for getting results in whatever muscle you're trying to build. So even if it's your shoulders or your back or whatever muscle, if you are using and implementing the mind to muscle connection, you are again going to get way, way, way better results. And it might seem kind of like a weird concept if you've never heard about it before, but essentially when you are training the muscle that you are training, so we'll use glutes again as an example, you want to be actually thinking in your head when you're doing the exercise, glutes, glutes, glutes. Like I'm engaging my glutes. So if you're doing something like a step up or you're doing something like a lunge, when you're coming up from that movement and you're using your glutes, really think about it, really engage your mind with what you're trying to train. And it might seem like common sense or how would that actually work, but you will be amazed when you really focus on that muscle that you're trying to engage, how much more it actually does work and turn on and engage. You also want to make sure you're slowing down your movements, so you're never rushing through your movements, you're never just going through the motions. You really want to focus, engage your mind, go through slowly, and really take your time with each movement to make sure that you're getting the most out of it, because quality over quantity any day with your workouts. It's better to perform 4 or 5 glute exercises in one session where you are doing mind to muscle connection, you are slowly going through the motions, you are really focusing on engaging that muscle, versus doing 10 exercises where you're just boom, 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 again, just going through the motions. You're not going to get as much progress, even if you feel like you are, because you're doing more. Less is not more. With weight training in general, it really is all about the quality of the workout that you're doing. Okay, so starting off with some of my favorite activation movements, you'll see I'm using a resistance band in all of these. If you don't have any, I highly recommend getting some. There are tons all over, but you can get some from Amazon or a sporting goods store, or I know there's a lot of girls that also sell them, so you can find whatever ones you like. I personally like the fabric ones because the ones that are just rubber, they roll up and they kind of burn if you're wearing shorts or whatever. But first I'm doing abductions, seated abductions, and I usually do 15 to 20 reps. Side kicks, and you'll see the other ones here in a minute, but I usually do 2 to 3 activation movements before my workout. Usually takes around 5 minutes. It is important that you don't fatigue the muscles and work out before your workout. You just want to really wake up the muscles, feel the burn, and then once you can feel that your glutes are engaged, that's a good sign that it is a good time to start the workout. Something else I want to point out is on leg days, I always wear my Converse. Now, you don't have to wear Converse, but any shoe that's super flat is going to be really helpful. So if you've ever seen anybody lifting or deadlifting or squatting in their socks, that is because they are flat-footed. So when you are flat-footed, it helps you to push your weight through your heels, which again is going to help you engage your glutes best. So anytime you're doing any movement, make sure your focus and your mind is on pushing the weight through your heels versus your toes. Because if you focus more on your toes and forward, that's going to engage more of your quads. So if you've ever wondered why people wear Converse, that is why. So my first favorite exercise, as I've shared a lot of times, is hip thrusts. And the reason this is my favorite is because even though I'm quad dominant, back in the day, even when I didn't know how to properly engage my glutes, this was always the only workout that I only felt the burn in my glutes and my hamstrings. So if you are doing this correctly, you should not feel this in your quads or any other muscle besides your glutes and your hamstrings. It is important to note that the way my body is and my form, it's super, super important. So you'll see that my gaze and my head is facing forward and it is all in line. My neck, my back, my spine, it's all in line. You don't want to put your head backwards or overextend your spine. That's not only going to give you less results, but it's also going to potentially injure you. Next, I'm performing Romanian deadlifts, and these are also amazing for just feeling it in the glutes and the hamstrings. There's no other muscle that really should be working right now except for your core a little bit because it is a free weight exercise. But you do want to, again, make sure you're pushing through your heels and pull the weight with your glutes and your hamstrings. If you are feeling it in your back, especially your lower back, try lowering the weight and really focus on form. You should not be feeling this in your lower back. It is normal to be sore in your upper back or your lats a little bit after deadlifts because they are being worked, but you shouldn't necessarily feel it while you're doing the deadlift. Next, I'm performing sumo deadlifts, which some people actually say they feel these more in their glutes than the previous form of deadlift. So here, as you can see, I just have a really wide stance and my toes are pointed outward. With this, you do want to play around just kind of with your footing and kind of feel what works best for you and what engages your glutes best. But again, you want everything to stay in line just with the hip thrust. You want to make sure that your neck and your head is all in line so that you don't overextend. Lastly, I am doing lunges on the Smith machine. I always do some kind of form of lunge in my lower body workouts, but there's so many different ways you can do these. You can do them on the Smith machine, you can do them free weight, you can do walking lunges, dumbbells, all sorts of different ways. This is just the way that I picked for this day, but usually I don't start with lunges just because I do sometimes still feel them in my quads, but once my glutes are really fired up and I've already done a few things to burn them out, then ending with lunges or close to the end of my workout doing lunges is really helpful, and I tend to feel it a lot more in my glutes. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful. Please comment below if you have any questions whatsoever, and also let me know if you implement these and if you find progress and if you find this helpful. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It helps support my channel so much, and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.